Welcome back. I've got a Blu Ray update of all my watches over the last 30 days. First up is a classic film that I'd never even seen before, and that's Monkey Shines, 1988, George Romero. Never saw it till recently. Shocking, I know, but I liked it a lot. It's about basically a scientist experimenting with monkeys, and it involved a paralyzed man, and of course the monkey experiment goes bad, as we can all expect in a Romero film. Great movie, really is. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10, I think. uh, Romero's this is a great film, and this is a great addition. I missed out on the Scream Factory release, so I chose to go the Eureka route, and I don't regret it at all. This has two commentary tracks. It's got Romero commentary track and Terrence Crawford commentary track, and it's got a feature length, almost a feature length documentary on the film with Romero. But yeah, I definitely recommend if you've not seen Monkey. This is a Blu-ray and DVD combo, and a book. So, I mean, Eureka did a great job. I don't think I'm missing out by buying Eureka versus Scream Factory at all. Yep, so that's Monkey Shines. Let's see what else we got here. Next up this is another film that I think this was one that Piswell was talking about. Pizow, however you want to pronounce it. Upgrade. Very interesting science fiction film. Really, really interesting. This is a 2016 release. I thought this was thoroughly entertaining. The director is a guy named Lee Winnell, and Lee Winnell did Insidious 3. Basically, you've got it's kind of a sci-fi revenge film. You've got a guy that's had a terrible car accident with his wife, and the wife gets killed by this group of thugs, and this guy's going to try to figure out the research and basically go back and try to figure out why this happened. And in doing so, he has these special powers, and it gets very, very sci-fi, but it's a great revenge flick, and it's an interesting concept in general. I really, really liked it. Logan Marshall Green was in this. I thought he did a great job. This has got a booklet, poster, and then of course the film itself. Just a Blu-ray in a black case. As far as special features, there is an audio commentary track. Yeah, it looks like it's an audio commentary track and some interviews, but this is a nice release from Second Sight. Highly recommend this. I think I gave this let me see what my rating was on this one. A 9 out of 10. I don't give out too many 9s or 10s. Definitely not 10s. And I really highly resist giving out 9s, but I gave this one a 9 out of 10. Good stuff. Good stuff on that one. Let's see. Next up is The Dark Half. This is another Romero film. This is one I thought I hadn't seen. This is another Eureka release. And again, I missed out on the Scream Factory, so I went the route of the Region B. This is one that I thought I hadn't seen it. But then when I watched it again, I realized I had seen it. I just didn't remember it. Timothy Hutton plays this writer, basically kind of like a Stephen King, and he has a split personality. The one that writes the books and the one that's his normal personality, and the two kind of split off. Really, really good. Kind of a Jekyll and Hyde. It's kind of a variation of Jekyll and Hyde. Really good. Timothy Hutton was fantastic in it. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. This is 1993, and this has Eureka does some great stuff. This looks a lot. This, as far as the layout and what you get the booklet, and then it's a Blu-ray and DVD combo. So very much similar to Monkey Shines. And I believe this one has an audio commentary track as well from Romero. Let's see. Yeah, it's got an audio commentary track and interviews. Pretty much a nice loaded release. Good stuff there from the Dark Half. Definitely recommend that one. And I finally upgraded my Nightbreed to the Arrow release here for Nightbreed. This has got the director's cut and of course the theatrical cut. I've watched both, and they're really two different films. I have to be honest. I haven't seen the Cabal cut, but yeah, I mean both are. It's an interesting film. It's probably Clive Barker's most personal film, at least from what he says on audio commentaries and things like that. But I like it a lot. I gave it an 8 out of 10. This has a pretty thick book that goes with it. Arrow does an outstanding job as always, and it's a Blu-ray DVD combo. There are commentary tracks on both films. It's a beautiful release. Arrow did a fantastic job. Just a slew. I mean, endless special features. I can't even. I'm not even going to go into it. It's just endless. Yeah, that's Nightbreed. Next up, I'm checking my Letterboxd. If anybody's interested in what I'm watching or my quick and dirty reviews, you can go to Letterboxd, and I am Number Crunch /retro horror. So if you want to check it out. Yeah, here's the next one up. This is a French film, Deadly Games. And it's a slasher film, kind of a Home Alone slasher film, basically. It's got the kid in this. I thought did a good job. Child actors can be hit and miss, but I thought he did a good job in this. And then the Santa, basically, it's a Santa that got fired by the child's mother, and he goes to seek his revenge and terrorizes the house. That's basically the story. And it's an interesting slasher film. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. This is 1970, actually 1980. I want to say 1988. Towards the end of the 80s. This release is got. Well, it's a German release, so you've got there's a full-length documentary on this, but it's in French, and then there's English subtitles. So yeah, we don't have an American release for this yet. Probably now that I bought this, it'll come out pretty quick. But that's kind of a nice layout. It's a nice release. A little expensive. All right, next up, pretty much I think the whole world's got this already, the Fly Collection from Scream Factory. And it has the original classic Fly with Vincent Price, The Return of the Fly, Curse, and of course the Jeff Goldblum fantastic remake, David Cronenberg, Jeff Goldblum, and then Fly 2, which is more like just a straight up monster movie than anything else. I mean, they're all monster movies. You know, I mean, it's about a guy turning into a fly. So, but I would say Fly 2 is just really kind of a straight up monster movie without the sci-fi elements. But yeah, I rewatched the entire box set. All the films have audio commentaries and special features. I haven't gone through all that yet, but it's a great release, a fantastic release. Also picked up the Scream Factory just keeps killing it with these Universal releases. I think this is volume 3. There's a 4th one coming. This one has Tower of London, which is a Richard III film. Man-Made Monster. Man-Made Monster is one that I had on Super 8mm back in the 70s. It was one of my childhood favorite films with Lon Chaney Jr. and Lionel Atwell. Love that film. I mean, it's a quick watch. It's an hour. And then this has got the Black Cat, which is really kind of a lame. They're trying to do like an Abbott and Costello. They had a second tier comedy guy, a la Abbott and Costello, that they threw into this haunted house, and it was not very good. And then Horror Island. So yeah, nice release. I like the fact that they're throwing some special features, audio commentaries on these things, because obviously everyone involved is dead now. So, but it's still nice to have some special features that go along with it. Next up, this is some crazy stuff here. Ricky O. Now, if you haven't seen Ricky O, you're doing yourself a disservice, because Ricky O is one of the most batshit crazy martial arts films ever. Ricky O, basically, accidental death. He goes to prison. In the prison, they're like torturing him and beating him up, and he just goes nuts. I mean, there's all kinds of just off the wall. It really borders on martial arts horror, because it's just ridiculous. I mean, there's fists going through stomachs and entrails coming out. They've got heads exploding, and I mean, there's a meat grinder scene where bodies are going through a meat grinder. It's just an endless. I mean, it's the quickest, wildest, cheesiest 90 minutes you're ever going to want. I can't say enough good things about it. It's a fantastic film. Ricky O. Yeah, the story of Ricky O. It's unreal. You have to see it to believe it. The print on this is pristine, by the way. It's got an audio commentary and some interviews as well. So I had an old DVD of this, so this was a nice upgrade. Now for some Vinegar Syndromes, and first up is The Candy Snatchers. This is a grimy 1970s film about a group, 3 people that basically kidnap a kid for ransom, a girl, and they bury her alive. And they essentially, it's a kidnapping gone awry, essentially, but it's a really, really gritty, grimy 70s film. Loved it. And the Vinegar Syndrome release, as usual, is pristine. Highly recommend this release if you haven't got it yet. And then finally, Savage Dawn. This has got Lance Hendrickson. I wasn't really big fan of this. Lance Hendrickson's kind of like a tough guy, and he basically is fighting this motorcycle gang. But Lance Hendrickson, to me, just doesn't come off as a tough guy in the sense that he can kick the shit out of you, like a Charles Bronson or a Clint Eastwood. I don't know, he just doesn't pull it off. I thought he did a good job. I just think he's miscast. And I was really disappointed with, I love George Kennedy. George Kennedy plays a Vietnam vet that's paralyzed in a wheelchair, and he really doesn't say much. And if you know George Kennedy, some of his crotchety old man quips are just classic stuff. But he just kind of was going through the motions on this. I was disappointed in that too. Once again, a nice release. Good special features on it. So yeah, that's going to do it. If you guys have seen any of these films or these releases and want to leave comments, please feel free to do so. and appreciate you watching. I'll probably be back on Friday with a Fastbender Friday review. So thanks for watching.